Good evening. Welcome to Love and Life Lessons with Lady A. Listen, I got something powerful for y'all tonight, if I do say so myself. Come on in here and say hello to me. Take a moment when you get in and do me a favor. Right there on your right, on your left, on the bottom of your screen, it's somewhere on your screen. I want you to simply click like. Yep, click that like button for me. Then come on, I got to pull real deep out of you to do this next one. Tag a few of your friends and hit that share button. That's what I need you to do for me tonight. Hit that like button, tag a few of your friends, and then hit share. Because I'm telling you, it makes no sense for you to get all this good word in you and your friends not get it. Then y'all gonna be unequally yoked. So make sure you tag your friends so everybody can hear the same thing and everybody can be on the same page. How about that? So go ahead and do that. Hit the like button, tag your friends, and then also share it on your page. All right. So tonight we are going to be talking about why do people settle for less in life, period, in all areas of your life. Why do we, and you notice I said we, why do we settle for less? And I was doing some thinking and kind of looking through statistics and, kind of going online and kind of figuring out why do people settle for less? And it came up with a couple of reasons as to why that does happen. Now, let me say this. I'm sure you, as well as myself, have been in situations that we knew were not healthy mentally and physically and probably even financially and spiritually, probably all four categories. And we stayed in those situations longer than what we know we should have been in them situations. See, when you're in a bad situation, when you got to start making up excuses as to why you're allowing certain stuff to go on. Well, he's like this because of such and such. Well, I'm at this job because, it's closer to my house. When you start trying to find excuses for things that you're doing, you done been in this situation way too long. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Reasons why people settle for less in life. All right. So here's a couple of reasons that I came up with. We accept what we think we deserve. And that was some truth right there. A lot of times we settle for less because we don't think we deserve more than what we're getting. So we'll just settle right there. Another reason is our past hurt, rejections, and our mistakes. Now, mistakes will definitely hold you hostage in a situation. It'll make you have more sympathy for people than you really need to have. And I've been there. So sometimes our mistakes will hold us hostage in a situation. Then you have the fear of being alone. Some people would rather have something wrong than nothing at all. I remember the song was out when I was a little girl, and most of y'all probably won't remember this, but it was a song that was out that said, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. If being right means being without you, I'd rather live wrong than right. That was a cold song, and I was a kid. I probably was in like the second or third grade, and my auntie used to play that song around the house. But that's true. Some people would rather have something wrong than just have nothing at all. And then another reason we settle is for comfort and familiarity. We get so used to dysfunction. I told you I lived my life like that, in dysfunction. I didn't even know it was dysfunction. I thought this was just normal. This is just the way things go. But we get real comfortable and familiar, and we don't want to change. And then we stay in some situations that we know are no good. You know why? Because we are hoping. We are hoping that things will change. And potential will keep you stuck too. Because you'll start wanting, you ever wanted something better for somebody else and they didn't even want it for themselves? It's like you saw the potential in them and you was trying to push that, but they didn't want it for themselves. Potential will keep you stuck in a situation that you don't need to be in. All right? And then another one, lack of boundaries. Because you don't have no boundaries, lack of boundaries will also have you settling for less. All right? Then this one. And this is the one I'm going to park at tonight. Low self-worth. Low self-worth. You don't think enough of yourself. And because you don't think enough of yourself, you just settling for whatever. Okay, this all y'all got. Okay, well, I guess I'll just take this. Because you don't think enough of yourself, you'll begin to settle. And maybe in the last maybe year or two, it's become, and I think it may be because of social media too, that it's become something that you hear all the time. You need to know your self-worth. You need to know what you're worth, and don't take no change from nobody. And you need to, we hear that a lot here lately, but it's another one of them things where people are talking about we need to know our self-worth and all that. But who is going to tell us, or who has told us how to discover what our self-worth is? We hear it, but how do we find out? What is my self-worth? So tonight, guess what? I'm going to dive in tonight. I'm going to dive into that tonight. What your self-worth is. So first, let's cover this ground right here. Let's first look at what self-worth is not. Because I don't want y'all confused. So let's rule these things out right here. This has nothing to do with your self-worth. How people treat you. And I'm gonna come circle back to that one too. How people treat you. Your relationship can't determine your self-worth. Your success, how you look, your money, none of that determines your self-worth. Those are some things that can make you feel good and maybe make you poke your chest out or get your lashes done or put on some lip gloss. But that's not the determining factor of your self-worth. See, your self-worth is determined by what you believe about yourself without the validation of other people. That's what self-worth is how you believe about yourself. The beliefs you have about yourself, that you don't need nobody else to put their stamp of approval on. You don't need them to validate how you feel about yourself, because that's how you feel about yourself. Now, can I be truthful with y'all? Growing up, born in the mid-60s, my mama had 9 kids and I was the youngest. So by the time she got around to me, she was probably tired and wore out. So she didn't talk a lot about self-worth. I didn't hear, we didn't grow up hearing, this is what self-worth is, and this is what, we didn't hear that. Mama mainly taught me, as I can remember, things like if you wear a dress that you can see through, make sure you put a slip underneath it. Make sure you're not showing too much when you go out. Leave something to a man's imagination. When you sit down, make sure you cross your legs at your ankles. See, mama taught me stuff about self-respect, but she never taught me nothing about self-worth. That's something recently, again, that we've been hearing about. So some of us don't know our self-worth because we wasn't never taught it. Then some of us was taught about self-worth as kids or teenagers, young adults, but pain can rewire that. So you can think, this is how I feel about myself. And you can go through a tough situation and it'll break all that down. It'll switch. Pain will do that to you when it comes to your self-worth. And please don't think that your self-worth is tied to your performance, what you do. Oh yeah, I'm the CEO, or I'm the this and I'm the that. That don't have nothing to do with your self-worth. Because you can be the CEO of a company. You can own your own business. You can have it going on and come home and crawl in a corner and cry every night. So that has nothing to do with your self-worth. So don't forget that. Some of us were never introduced to what self-worth is. And that's why we start accepting whatever we're given, because we don't know what it is that we really deserve. And we hear people say this all the time, and you guys are going to be able to relate to this. You see, they post it all on social media. They post, oh, I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life. And 99% of the time when people are posting that I'm living my best life, they're on a trip. They're on a trip somewhere when they're posting that they're living their best life, because they deem that trip as an upgrade from their regular life. See, they go to Vegas for the weekend with their homegirls, go out to a club, stand on the couch and start screaming out rap lyrics. And then they come back and they like, yeah, we living our best life. Well, honey, in the words of Whitney Houston, those were just a few stolen moments. That was temporary. That's not going to last forever. Because see, Monday, you're going to be right back at home with that sink full of dirty dishes. You enjoyed your weekend, but that's not your best life. Life has way more to offer you than just a trip with your homegirls to Vegas for the weekend. But some of us have not been exposed to nothing better than that. So when we go to Vegas and we take a weekend trip, we think like, oh, I'm living my best life out here. No, sis, that's not your best life. You have life, a better life, and then your best life. Your life is your normal routine. You go to work, you come home, you mess with your kids, your grandkids, or whatever. Have your few cocktails. You might go out somewhere. That's your normal life. A better life is when you do get to go out and see other things. You get to travel or maybe go to a winery or see something. You get exposed to something different. That's a better life. But your best life has nothing to do with where you're going. It has nothing to do with what you got. It's somebody who is mentally content, that they've reached a level to where they say, you know what? I'm happy with my house. I'm happy with my relationship. My kids are doing well. See, it's a content state to be in, to say, this is my best life. It's not tied to where I'm going. Because you can go to Cabo, but you ain't finna live there. You still got to come. I hope somebody hearing me tonight. So there's life, a better life, and then your best life. And you can be out and do all that, but guess what? And still not know your worth. Not know your worth. Traveling all that and still don't know your worth. So that's what we're going to dig into tonight. All right? You're not going to feel like that no more. And you're going to stop letting people just treat you any old kind of way. So here's what I need y'all to do. I need you to get your ink pen and get a piece of paper. Get your ink pen, get some paper, because we're finna get started. Go ahead, grab your pen and your paper. Because before I can help you discover what your self-worth is, we got to first find out where we at right now. See, we got to first find out our value right now, what we worth right now. So I can't tell you, oh, let's do this to find. Let's find out where we are right now. Let's find out where everybody's at right now. And this is how we find out your current status. All right. Let's look at some of the things we tolerate. I'm telling y'all, stay with me. This got to do with your self-worth. Look at some of the things we tolerate. Disrespect from other people. Inconsistency. Folk in and out our lives. Us not being consistent about things that we said we were going to do, that we still ain't doing, that we going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow then came 3 days ago and we still ain't doing. The inconsistency that we put up with others and from ourselves. Being overlooked. Being at a job that you know you probably should have got promoted from. You've been helping out people with different probably volunteer things. And you look at, oh, maybe one day I can be the assistant of this. But you're getting overlooked. And you still there. And you know you deserve better than what it is that you're getting, but you still there. For some reason, you there and you stuck. And you have not moved yet. You've just been tolerating things. See, and that level right there, that shows us your worth as of today. Based on how people are treating you, they are showing you your current worth as of right now today. Because you tolerating all kind of foolishness from them. And you just going with the flow. That you just letting them know like, well, you can just run over her. She don't mind. Just come and put the work on her desk. She'll do it. She ain't going to be tripping. I always just put my extra work over there on her. Because they're showing you what you are worth. Right then and there. I mean, don't get no plan in that. We have allowed people to place us on a clearance rack. They done took a red mark and marked across our faces and threw us to the back of the store. We on the clearance rack. And that's how people start treating you. Because you don't know your wealth. And let me just throw this in there. Sometimes it's not always people. Sometimes it's the lies that we tell ourselves that keep us stuck. That diminishes us. It's the lies we tell ourselves. Well, you know what? I guess this is just how life is going to be. I may not have everything, but at least I got something. And then you just settling for that something. No, baby, it's more than life than this. You just got to get out there and go get it. All right? So, low self-worth is also built on lies that we tell ourselves. And see, the enemy, let me say this. The enemy will take something that you did wrong and hold that against you. And every time you go out to try to do something different, he'll throw that back up in your face. Well, you remember when you tried to do this? That didn't work. And since you're trying to come out here now, what you trying to go back to school for at 50 years old? You don't need to go back to no school. You need to just work that job you got. Well, you don't need to find no man. Just stay by yourself or just stay with Leroy. I know Leroy ain't no good, but just stay with Leroy because at least you got somebody. See, the enemy, he'll start putting all that stuff in your mind too. And before you know it, you just didn't. Lord your self-worth. Lord your self-worth. Lord your self-worth. But ain't it time out for that? Ain't it time out for that? I mean, every once in a while, does a thought cross your mind of, well, I could be living better than this. I could be doing better than this. See, we got to dismiss all that foolishness. All those toxic thoughts like that, we got to dismiss all that because we're building a new you. We started that last week, remember? We got rid of them toxic thoughts and we're handling things different because we're in the process of building a new you. And we got to help you with your self-worth. We got to work on that. I want you to learn how to start saying no. See, start paying attention to how people treat you. And the next time somebody come in and try to throw some extra work on you or somebody try to do something that you, practice just start saying no. Or just say, hey, I'm not cool with that. No, I'm not going to be able to do that. See, practice start doing that. That's going to help you too. Practice doing that. Stop and stop feeling like you always got to explain, well, I was going to be able to, not going to be able to do it because I might have to go and do. You don't owe nobody no explanation. You don't owe nobody no explanation. Listen, I'm not going to be able to do it. You know how you go bad on your kids and you go bad on other people? Go bad when it's really needed. So how about that? Go bad when it's really needed. When you need to speak up for yourself and stop letting people treat you like a doormat. How about you just do that for a change? All right, go bad in that area. And most important, listen, this is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to park right here. Because we're talking about helping you with your self-worth. One very important thing you going to have to do. I mean, you got to do this. We're talking about your self-worth. I told you what it wasn't. I told you probably where you are right now, and it's based on how people been treating you. They're showing you what you showed them, and that's why they're treating you the way they treat you. You being overlooked and used and abused and all that is because that's what you give off, the energy you're giving off to people. So they just feel like, oh, shit don't matter. So that's why people are running over you. That's probably where you are right now in life. You don't have to admit it, but you probably right there. Because let's just raise our hands in the privacy of our own homes. Let's do that. How about that? All right. Now listen, one thing you're going to have to do, and you got to do this. You have to set up boundaries. You have to set up boundaries. There's no way around you can establish what your self-worth is without having some boundaries. You got to have boundaries. See, boundaries sets the stage. Well, for one, it introduces people to your worth. And then it sets the stage for what you will and what you won't allow. And too long you've been quiet on that. You've been keeping your mouth shut. I just ain't going to say, I'm just going to, hell no. We speaking up. All right? You've been doing that too long. Those of you who write this down. Self-worth. This is how you set your self-worth right here. It's going to be based on your beliefs, your standards, and your boundaries. Your self-worth is going to be based on what you believe about yourself, your standards, meaning what you require, and then your boundaries, what you're not about to tolerate. The way we help you set up your boundaries so that you can discover and introduce people to your worth, your self-worth, is we're going to set up some boundaries. And again, your self-worth is going to be based on what you believe about yourself, your standards, what you require, and then your boundaries, what you will and what you won't tolerate. See, people will treat you based off what you show them, is what I told you. So when you begin to show them this new you, watch how people start treating you. They'll be like, I can't do that to her no more. No, she ain't trying to do. See, because they're going to notice it. But I'm going to help you set some boundaries. That's what I'm going to help you do. I'm going to help you discover that not only do you deserve better treatment from people, but you deserve to look at yourself better than what you look at yourself. You got to start, you don't ask for respect. Baby, your presence alone, the way you carry yourself, it has to demand respect. So people will know, don't just come at you any old kind of way. So let's talk about boundaries. Because see, we put boundaries in place to protect ourselves. So you set them based on what makes you feel mentally and physically safe. That's the way you set up your boundaries. What makes you feel mentally and physically safe. Now, I would suggest when you're getting ready to set up your boundaries that you be realistic with them. All right? That you pray, maybe meditate, because you want to make your boundaries with a clear and a calm mind. So you don't want something to happen. You get mad. Oh, hell no, I'm not accepting this no more. Ain't nobody going to be. Because see, now you just mad and you're going all off. No. I want you to be calm. And I want you to have a clear head. And I want you to be realistic. And I want you to say, these are going to be my boundaries. Because see, I want you to set them so that they protect you. You're not setting them to lock people out. I'm not telling you that you need to build a wall around you. I'm telling you that you need to have boundaries that's going to protect you mentally and physically, and maybe keep you out of jail and keep you from putting your hands on somebody. But you're going to need boundaries, all right? Because I realize that every time I say yes to something that I really never really wanted to do, how that started affecting my value. That really affected my value, how people saw me. Well, again, because I put yourself in a place. Well, don't worry about it. She'll do it when she gets. Just leave all that trash over there. She'll clean it up and she'll just be. You see what I'm saying? It's so confused. You got so much going on in your head. And because you got so much going on, it's hard for you to sit down and say, you know what? Hold on. Let me get my mind together about me. Because I've been putting up with a whole lot of mess that I don't need to be putting up. So listen, I'm going to help you set up some boundaries so that you will know what you are really, really worth. See, it's sort of like, let me tell you something. When you say yes to stuff and you start letting people run over you and just start treating you any old kind of way and just giving you any old kind of thing, it's sort of like you normally shop at Nordstrom's. Here we go. You normally would shop at Nordstrom's. But you somewhere and somebody said, we don't have Nordstrom's, but we do got the Goodwill. And you say, well, okay, I just go to the Goodwill. No, I'm not going to no Goodwill because I don't shop at the Goodwill. I just rather just do without. Now, that's not you being bougie. That's not you being mean. That's about you being mature. I'm not about to lower my standards, and it has nothing to do with the stores. I just don't shop there. And I am not about to lower my standards, what I require, for nothing or nobody. I don't shop there. I'm not going there. Because see, the minute that I say, okay, well, I just go there and just go ahead and get something this time, I realize what that does to me. I realize it diminishes my worth. And see, it'll start with me just going and shopping there, and it'll bleed over to other areas of my life. Once I begin to compromise about one thing, it's a slope. And you'll slide down that slippery slope, and you'll begin to compromise about everything. No, I don't shop there. That's just how I am. Because guess what? I'm working on my self-worth. And I believe that I've acquired enough in life that where I can donate to the Goodwill, but thank God I don't have to shop there no more. And there's nothing wrong with you feeling like that. I told you, you don't have to explain yourself to nobody. You don't have to explain yourself to people no more. You've been putting up with bullcrap from people. So you've been messed up. You've been messed up. You've been on that BS. You've been on that BS. Yeah, I said that. You've been on that BS for too long. You coming up out of that. That BS. Your belief system has been messed up. But we turning the page on that. You're not doing that. You're not lowering your standards for nobody else. Because I told you your self-worth is built up from your beliefs, your standards, and your boundaries, and time off with people treating you any old kind of way. Now, let me say this about your boundaries. Because we can talk about boundaries, but see, it's hard to set boundaries with people who you are close to. It's hard to set boundaries with people who you are close with. So let me help you. I'll be the mean girl tonight, and I pray you taking notes. Let me help you set boundaries. Let's start with your kids and your grandkids. Because boundaries with kids provide protection and it provides structure. So you definitely need to have boundaries with your kids. Listen, I'm not your friend first. Now, maybe as you get older, an adult and get your own place, pay your own bill, then maybe we can be friends. But I'm not your friend. I'm the parent. And you're not going to talk to me any old kind of way. You're not going to do what you want to do up in this house. You're not going to get mad and slam your door and go in your room and not speak to nobody. That's not happening in this house because there are consequences to those behaviors. So as you reach a certain age peak, we're going to be having conversations. When you get one, so you crawling around, you tearing up stuff. But at 5, you're not crawling around tearing up stuff because I'm going to let you know that's not acceptable. When you're a teenager, the rules going to change. Now, these are the boundaries for this house. You still living here at 20? I got boundaries. I still got rules that you still going to have to abide by. If you're grown, you need to be out on your own. Then you don't have to hear my mouth. But we're going to have some boundaries. I'm going to make those boundaries perfectly clear to you. And I'm going to tell you the consequences to those boundaries if you don't keep them. Now, see, I just had to talk with my kids in a loving and kind way. And we reached an understanding. And that's how we're going to roll as long as you in my house. Because, see, if you don't teach your kids boundaries, the streets will. And they're not going to be kind to them. When they teach them boundaries out there in them streets, oh, you done done as you want in jail. Or somebody done pulled a gun. You see what I'm saying? So it has to start in the house. And you tell them the boundaries, you tell them the consequence. And then when they do something good, you reward them. With a thank you, with a hug, with a gift, or however you choose to reward them. So I'm going to reward good behavior. And there's going to be consequences when you step outside of these boundaries. That's how you have to handle it with kids. Now, how are we going to handle some boundaries? And I'm going to use this one for family and friends. How do we handle boundaries with our family and our friends? Now, when it comes to those group of people, especially friends, because some of us are closer with our friends than we is with our family. And that's a whole nother lesson. Here's what you have to do when you're setting boundaries with friends. You have to choose respect over longevity. You have to. Yeah, I've been knowing you for 20 years. Yeah, we went to school, but you have to choose respect over longevity. Because just because you've been friends with somebody for a long time and you got history with them, that don't mean that that's a healthy relationship. Just because I've been knowing you since we was in kindergarten and we've been hanging tight, that don't mean that it's a healthy relationship. You got some friends right now that you do stuff with that you really don't even be wanting to do. I know you do. You got friends that you go places with and you don't really enjoy going there, but you just go because it's something that y'all been going to that same hot, sweaty festival for 10, 15 years. Y'all been doing that. Y'all been going there. And you don't even really like going there. You just go because that's just what y'all do. In reality, you'd really rather be at a jazz festival, sitting in some shade, sipping on some wine. But y'all go to this hot, sweaty thing every year, and that's just what y'all do. And you do that. And you think that has nothing to do with your self-worth, but it does. It does have something to do with your self-worth. Because, see, if you'd rather be doing something else, and you keep saying, putting how you feel down here, and down here and down, that just like, no, she just gonna go where we say, girl, she don't be caring, just tell Sheila meet us at the party. We're gonna be, because Sheila gonna come. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. See, when it comes to situations like that, you gotta, I told you about your self-worth, those 3 things. You gotta change what you believe about yourself. Now, we just talking about going to a concert that you've been going to for 10 years that you really don't like going to. I'm just trying to help you discover your self-worth in that situation right there alone. It's what you believe. You got to believe, guess what? You got to believe this about yourself. I believe I deserve to be in some shade. My standards are now requiring me to be in a seat in some VIP. My boundaries, or if my friends don't want to do something different, then I got to move solo. Because I'm not doing that no more. You see what I'm saying? See, you didn't think that had nothing to do with your self-worth, but it does. Because you start putting yourself on the back burner. Just to go because everybody else is going. No, It's about what you believe about yourself. So you don't believe you deserve to be sitting in some shade. You believe you deserve to be out there sweating in the sun. You don't think you're not requiring a seat. You just rather just stand up. You got to work on that. Work on them 3 things in that area. See, even if it means that you got to go by yourself. I cannot tell you how many things I have missed out on in life waiting on other people. Oh, it hurts my soul. It hurts deep down in my core. It hurts me. How many things I've missed out on life waiting on other people? How many times I've been late to events or pulling up at the last minute, making my anxiety hella high because now we running late. I done missed out on trips. I done missed out on going to spas that I wanted to go to. I done missed out on going to different shows that I wanted to go to. Especially when you're dealing with people, you want to do something and they can't afford to do it. And you reach the point to where you don't want to pay their way just so you can have some company. See how foolish we are? Look at that. Look at that picture I just painted. Look what you do to yourself. You want to go so bad and they can't afford to go, but you're willing to pay their way to introduce them to something that they have not earned the right to even be at financially, but you're going to drag them along because you want some company. What does that say about you? You don't think you are mature enough to go nowhere by yourself and have a good time? Come on. That speaks to your self-worth. That speaks to how you feel about yourself. And I have missed out on so much stuff dealing with things like that because I didn't know my self-worth. All right? So it's foolishness that we will tolerate. So how about this? How about you do this? We're talking about helping you discover your self-worth. How about you do this? How about you do a PSA and let all your friends know, hey, next year, I'm not going to the Sweat Festival. I'm doing something different. This is what I'm going to be doing. Now, if y'all want to still go there, fine, because this is what I'm going to be doing, and we can just catch up, and chill later or whatever. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that no more. And I walked myself into something when I said about how many times I've missed out on stuff waiting on other people or been late for stuff because I'm waiting on somebody else to get here or somebody else. Let me address that. Let me address that right quick. Let me address that friend that you got that's always late. Or if you are the friend that's always late. Let me part a wig. Let me put a part in your wig right here. Let me do this. Or let me snatch that wig off your head real quick. Because I want to tell you exactly what you're dealing with. Or I want to tell you exactly who you are if you are the person that's always late. Listen. The person that's always late, hear me good when I say this, and somebody might get offended and click out. I'm all right with that too. Listen, that's a selfish ass individual. And I mean it just like that. You selfish. You always late. That's somebody who don't have no respect for time or other people. It's all about them. They moving how they want to move when they feel like moving. And they don't care about who's waiting on them. And that is disrespectful. Did you hear what I said? Now you can spend it however you want to spend it. And y'all make jokes about, girl, she always late. She'll say however you want to say it. But it's very disrespectful for you to be like that. We say we meeting at 10 o'clock. I done got up at 8 o'clock to get myself together to make sure that I'm getting ready so that I can be there on time. Then I get there at 10 o'clock. Then I got to call you to ask you where you at. And you're going to say, oh, I'm at home. I'm still getting dressed. Or you going to lie and say, oh, I'm on my way right now. Then I got to sit there another 30 and 40 minutes waiting on you to get there. Now that's disrespectful. And a lot of us, did you hear me? A lot of us have been tolerating that because we are friends. Oh, that's my girl. That's just how she is. So you always want to make up an excuse for people. But you didn't sit there an extra 30, 40 minutes. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. If we say we meeting at 10, be here at 10 o'clock. Unless you sending me a video because you got a flat tire. And I'm talking about people who are consistently doing, I'm not talking about no one time. I'm talking about people, and y'all like to joke about, girl, you know, she always, that's not cute to me. It's not funny. It is very disrespectful. And what kind of friend are you to have me sitting here and waiting all this time waiting on you? Who does that? Now ask yourself this question. Is it that important that you hang with this person? That you let them disrespect you in that manner? That you're sitting there waiting all this time for them to get there? Is it that important for you to hang out with this individual? A person that disrespects you. Now I know that kind of hit some of y'all hard because y'all wasn't expecting me to go there. But what does that show about your self-worth to that person? Child, don't worry, Sheila gonna be there. She know I'm always late. She gonna wait for me. You see how they just take you for granted? You see how that it's not a joking matter to me. And I'm not saying you need to get mad, ready to fight, but I'm saying, God damn, put an end to it. Put an end to it. Because you know what that shows about you? It shows that your beliefs about yourself are low. It shows that you have no standards, that people can treat you any old kind of way. It shows that you have no boundaries. Because a person with boundaries, as soon as that person, you ain't here, you finna be like, they gonna bounce. Because they think more than themselves to be sitting here waiting on you. So a person with boundaries is going to bounce because all of that speaks to your self-worth. But you've been tolerating that. You've been putting up with that. So you need to have a conversation with those friends, or if you're the late person, you need to have a conversation with yourself. Because that's not healthy. That's not a healthy choice that you should be making for yourself mentally to put yourself through that kind of stuff. That's not good. Again, it speaks to your self-worth because that person is only treating you from what you're showing them. They feel you okay with that, they're going to keep on doing it. Now, have a conversation. Let your people know, listen, sis, I know you always running late, so this is what we're going to do. This is where I'm going to be when you get there, if you make it, and I just meet you there. But we're not doing this no more. We're not doing this no more because I got to make some changes that's going to be healthy for me. Now, a real friend is going to be like, sis, you know what, you're right, I understand. And I'm going to be on time next time. And when they say, I'm going to be on time next time, I say, okay, that's good. Again, I'll meet you at the concert, but I'm not going to hook up with you and we drive over together. I'll just meet you when you get there. See, that's mature. Because again, I'm not letting you treat me any old kind of way. A real friend is going to understand that because you're making a healthy choice for yourself and they should be encouraging you. All right? All right. So now let's get in the mud a little bit. Let's get in the mud. We talked about boundaries with our kids, boundaries with our friends, family. Now let's talk about boundaries with your mate. And I'm going to tread real light tonight on this subject because I'm going to go in real deep on boundaries with your mate when I get on relationships. All right? So I'm going to tread a little light. So let me get a scenario. Setting up boundaries. Let's just say this scenario here. Let's just say you just met somebody and y'all are hooking up. You and this person, y'all been hooking up a few times. And now you're thinking, oh, this is somebody I could probably seriously date. Soon as you start having that little inkling, that little feeling, now is the time for you and that person to start discussing boundaries. And start off with them. Start off with them first. Ask them, do they have any boundaries? Now, hopefully they got some. Because if they don't have no boundaries, they're not going to respect your boundaries. Do I need to repeat that? Ask them, do they have any boundaries? And if they don't have any boundaries, they are not going to respect your boundaries. And that's a red flag. And this is somebody that you just meeting and you hooking up with. That's a red flag. Walk away right now. Walk away. Hear me good. Walk away. Because you do not have time to teach a grown person how to respect you. It's draining. It'll wear you out. It'll cause a bald spot in the back of your head. You just meeting them. Walk away. Go on about your business. Now, if they have some boundaries, while they are telling you what their boundaries are, seriously ask yourself wholeheartedly, am I willing to respect their boundaries? Because if I'm not, right now, I need to bow out gracefully and go about my business. All right? That's what needs to happen. If you just meeting them and y'all starting today. Now, let's help you set up some boundaries when it comes to that. Let's help you set up some boundaries. And all this has to do with your self-worth. All this has to do with yourself. Where are you going to be at on the market? You're going to be down here in the low part. You're going to be mid. This all has to do with your self-worth. Your beliefs, your standards, and your boundaries all tie into what your self-worth is. So now let's work on your boundaries. When you start setting your boundaries, you got to ask yourself, what am I definitely not going to tolerate? What am I definitely, this right here, I'm not tolerating that. Be realistic. Don't put on there, I'm not tolerating lying. And then he go to the store. You say, babe, why you didn't get the green juice? He said, oh, because they didn't have the green. But he really didn't want to get the green because he don't like the green, so he got the blue. And he tell that little lie. So don't put lying in there. Don't put lying like, don't put that. If you want to be very detailed about a lie, maybe that. But I'm talking something that you definitely are not going to, I ain't tolerating this right here. This I ain't tolerating, all right? Then the second thing you want to ask yourself is, what are my needs? What is it that I need from this relationship? I'm setting up my boundaries. I'm setting them up. This is what I ain't tolerating, and this is what I'm going to need from you. I'm letting you know right up front. And as I'm giving you my boundaries, I'm also going to make the consequences very clear. This right here, I'm not tolerating this. So I'm not, here you go, y'all like this. I'm not tolerating no cheating. So if you cheating, I'm gone. The relationship is over. If that's your thing. I'm not tolerating no stealing. So if you steal from me, I'm gone. You see what I'm saying? These are some things I need from you. I need you to be loyal to me. I need you to be truthful to me. I need you to be with just me. I need you to be honest with me. I need you to be transparent. Whatever it is that you need. If you need attention, if you need affect, what do you need? List that stuff. And along with that, you list the consequences also. Let them know. This is what I'm expecting. If I don't get this, these are going to be the consequences. You got to make it very, very clear. Because see, boundaries in a relationship makes your love safe and not stressful. Because I've already came out and told you what it is I need, what I'm not going to tolerate. You've told me. We both on the same page about this. We're going to respect each other. So that makes the love safe. And we don't got to be stressing over no bull crap. Because what I don't want you to do is abandon yourself to make someone else feel comfortable. You can't do that. You think you can do it. Well, it's okay because I'm just going to be doing it. You're going to get empty. You're going to get empty. Always going out your way for somebody else trying to make sure. And I believe in reflecting what you expect. So I believe, okay, I'm showing him this. I'm showing him this is how I like things. I'm showing him perfection with this. I'm doing this in hopes that he'll pick it up and give it back to me. But when you begin to abandon yourself to make other people comfortable, that's only going to last. You're going to end up miserable. I don't care if it's a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You're going to be in that relationship and you're going to be miserable because there's going to always be that void in you. All right? So I don't want you doing that. Don't do that. Now notice when I said about setting your relationship boundaries, I only asked 2 questions. What is it that you're not going to tolerate? And what is it that you need? Because those are the most important things right there. You don't need no whole grocery list. Well, don't do this, don't do it. Don't nobody want to read no grocery list. They don't want that. Just tell me what you're not going to tolerate and tell me what you need from me and let me know what the consequences is going to be. That's all I need you to do. Just be clear on your boundaries and then enforce them. Be clear on your boundaries and enforce them. And if need be, you have to bring up them consequences. Baby, you better be standing on business. You better be standing on business. I'm talking, ain't no negotiating. Ain't no letting nobody slide. Ain't no bending. Ain't no second. Ain't no none of that. You almost made me say a good cuss word. You better stand on business when it comes to your boundaries and them consequences. Hear me? If you don't hear nothing else I say tonight, if you don't write down nothing else I say tonight, you see how I'm getting with my hands? Because I get real animated when I get to this. Because if you don't enforce your boundaries and them consequences, you're going to regret it. You are going to regret it. Because each time that somebody disrespects you, you lose more and more and more of your self-worth. Each time you let somebody disrespect you, each time you say, this is my boundary, and you let somebody push past that boundary to where they just then tow it down, to where you don't even mention the boundary no more. Whenever you do that, I'm telling you, you are going to regret it. And you are going to lose more and more and more of your self-worth with each act of disrespect. So one day you're getting called out your name. The next day you're getting hit upside your head. The next day you're flying in your face with different women, or different stuff is happening. Running through the money. Coming in whenever you want to. What happened to your boundaries, sis? You just done chop them down. Chop them down. And you just losing more of your self-worth. Now you just a doormat. Now you just a doormat. Because the minute that a person, you can give the boundaries and you can give the consequences, but the minute that a person does not face the consequences of crossing your boundaries, when they don't see no consequences to their actions, that your boundaries are just words, they ain't never gonna respect you. Never, I said never. All caps. Once they see that they can just run over your boundaries, they ain't never gonna respect you. Please hear me good when I say that. The minute you let them override your boundaries, the respect is gone. It's gone, sis. Remember, we raising our hands. Been there. It's gone. The respect ain't come. They can lie and say, well, I know I messed up and I'm going to start respecting your boundaries and I'm going to, they lying. I'm going to change and they lying. They're not going to change. Now, they may change their clothes, change your tie, change your face towel, but they not going to change their behavior when it comes to your boundaries because they didn't run them down in the ground. They know you ain't nothing but a lot of mouth. They know ain't no action behind you because you didn't stand on business like I told you to. When I told you to enforce them consequences, the minute you said, if you do this, I'm gone, you should have been packing. You don't need to have no conversation. That was the closure right then and there. And when I said, don't do this, and you did it, we don't need to talk about it. That was the closure. You doing that. After I asked you, that's the closure. And I'm telling you, the respect, it ain't coming back. It ain't coming back. Because they didn't cross the line too many times. They not coming back. And I know that was some hard truth for you right there. But you needed to hear that. It's gone. Now, if you're in a married relationship and it's happening, I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to deal with that. Because if you ain't been enforcing it, and now you're thinking, maybe I should go, I'm going to show you how to go back and do it. All right? So don't make no sudden moves right now. And you go to work tomorrow with a black eye. Don't do nothing right now. Just wait. I'm going to tell you how to, the right way, if you're married, how to get through that. All right? Now, lay them out in the beginning. These are my boundaries, and these are my consequences. Then the moment that line gets crossed, you gone. Because see, when you enforce the consequences on the person that you're already talking about it, they don't even be mad. They can't even be mad at you. Now they got to respect you because you're a woman of your word. And what you did was they just learned your self-worth. When you put the boundary and the consequence out there and they cross that line and you do what you say you're going to do, they got to respect that. Now they know your self-worth. You know what they saying? Shoot. Oh, girl wasn't having that foolishness. She bounced. She told me not to do something I did. Man, she gone. Where's Sheila at, man? I ain't with Sheila no more. She bounced on me. Why Sheila? Because she told me not to do it and I did it anyway. She gone. Because I'm showing you my self-worth. I'm not going to let you tear me down. I'm not going to go that way. And guess what? Now they just learned don't play with you. They know don't play with her. And guess what? Ain't no spinning the block. Ain't no way, I learned my lesson. No, we ain't spinning no block. We're not doing that over there. You walk away and you don't look back. See, I'm not that ex that you need to check on. And to keep in touch with, to see how I'm doing. I'm not that ex, baby. I was a lesson to you. To teach you about respecting people's boundaries. I came into your life for that reason only. Because the minute you did what I left. So, you want to know your current self-worth? Look at what you're tolerating. Look at how you keep putting yourself on the back burner. That shows you right now you living real low in that area. You living real low in that area. But when you come now back afresh and you set your boundaries with your kids, with your family, with your friends, with your mate, when you start setting them boundaries now, because listen, this is what I believe about myself. You know what I believe about myself? I believe I'm the baddest broad out here. And I'm just going to use that for a B word because we taping. But I don't believe there's nan broad out here who can touch me. I don't care how long her wig is. I don't care how her lashes look. I don't care how good her makeup look. I don't care how she might be a Coke bottle. I don't care what she is. I don't think that there is no broad out here better than me. I think I'm all that. With a bag of chips. That's what I believe about myself. That's my beliefs. I don't need nobody to validate it. I don't need no stamp of approval. I don't need that. That's how I feel about me. What I require, this is what I require from people. These are my boundaries. Now, do we slip sometimes? Do we make mistakes? Be like, oh, I should have did this, or I'm in this situation now, and I done got myself into something. Now, how do I get out? It's going to happen because we're human, and we can slip up, and we have slipped up. And that's the problem. We just been slipping, and we done slid all the way down. But we coming up out that today. We coming up out that today. Listen, this is what I believe about myself. This is what I'm requiring. And these are my boundaries. And these are the consequences. And don't be afraid if you got to walk away from some people, from some places, from some things you were doing. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of that. Because when you put this new component together, guess what it does to your self-worth? It begins to rise it. And I'm telling you, people going to be saying, oh, she acting funny. I'm going through, remember I told you we going through transition. We going through a transition. That's what we're going through. And it's okay. People don't have to understand it. They don't have to understand us. We know what's going on with us because we are working on us. We're working on us. So to determine your self-worth, your current self-worth, look at what you've been tolerating. Look how you've been letting people treat you. Look how you've been treating yourself. Time off of that. Because now, guess what? We believe different about ourselves. We got requirements, so we have standards, and now we setting boundaries. You can't treat me any old kind of way no more. You're not running over me no more. I'm not getting overlooked time and time again for the job promotion. It ain't finna happen. Because now, guess what? I know my worth. And I know I deserve better than that. And because I know I deserve better than that, I'm gonna already start walking in it. I'm gonna already start walking like whatever it is that I want, whatever my desires is, I'm gonna already start acting like I'm already there. I'm already there. I'm already living in that thing. Because you no longer are going to treat me like a doormat. You're going to have some respect for me. All right, we're running out of time. Make sure you do me a favor before we end. Hit that like button and make sure you share this on your page. And then come back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. and meet me again and bring a friend with you. And bring a friend with you. Most of you by now, you on my page, hit that follow button. Help me get my followers up. Because guess what? The more people hear this, the better off that cities can be. Jobs can be. Homes can be. The more people hear this. All right? So do that for me. Make sure you follow me. But share this video on your page. And I'll see you guys next week. All right? 7 p.m. Love and Life Lessons with Lady A. Good night.